I saw Conan, I think when I was 5, which is not a good thing. My mom really liked Conan the Barbarian, actually, and I had to cover my eyes when his mom's head gets cut off, and also in the witch sex scene. So the sounds of that scene really stuck with me. But I remember being like a incredibly skinny little kid with a toy sword, like with my shirt off in front of the mirror, like trying to like do the moves after he like recovers from the crucifixion with the demons and the face painting and all that, and thinking that my physique just didn't quite work right. But yeah, I mean, it's a great film, and I've watched it every few years. I didn't watch a lot of like Rambo and Rocky and that kind of stuff. I wasn't like super into it as a kid. So like, I mean, I think it's more the world building and the mythology that made that exciting. Like obviously there, the revenge story and the violence are very effective in how Milius carries them out, but it is that world that's exciting. And even though it is a fantasy piece, like compared to a lot of fantasy stuff, particularly from the 80s, but even like on TV and films today, there's a credibility in the design. It was clear that Ron Cobb and everyone was thinking a lot about making the world believable, and certainly that's something that I like to do in my work. Milius does a great job of taking the material seriously. I mean, the first act of that movie is just so solid, and I think the other thing is that he has a big imagination, and he's willing to take a lot of risks in the casting. It's awesome to see James Earl Jones against Schwarzenegger, and Jerry Lopez is also like not a conventional choice, but an excellent choice. Anything that James Earl Jones does is one of my favorite scenes. As a kid, when he transformed into the snake, that was really something that stuck with me. But so did the giant snake fight. I mean, there's so many incredible set pieces. It's hard to choose a favorite scene. Unlike Milius, I was never really into Vikings as a kid, but I took a trip to Iceland and became inspired by the landscapes and started to read the sagas, and thought I would like to make a Viking movie one day. And then I had lunch with Alexander Skarsgård, who wanted to make a Viking movie and thought I might be a good fit for it. And I said, yeah, like let's try to make it work. So then I worked in collaboration with Sjón, this Icelandic novelist and poet, and we wrote the script. But Sjón and I both, and we didn't share this with each other, and found out later that we were both big Conan fans, and it was a very impressionable film on both of us as young people. Him as a teenager, which is a more normal, appropriate time to watch Conan, but me much younger. And there, accidentally, there's like a lot of nods to Conan. There's a couple intentional ones, but then there's these things that just come out. I mean, part of it is the genre. Howard himself was into the sagas, and there is this kind of like, hero's journey, but it's also a revenge story. So there are these things, the anti-hero breaking into a tomb to get his sword is in all the great sagas, but it's also, a great scene from Conan. And a fun fact is that Sam Conway was the physical effects guy on The Northman, who designed the skeleton to fall. His dad did that same effect in Conan the Barbarian. Well, it was a slightly different effect, but he did it in Conan, which is pretty cool. And the two very deliberate nods, or maybe there's a third, a musical one, but when Fjolnir takes off his helmet, that is very much James Earl Jones taking off his helmet, which Milius took from Alexander Nevsky, actually. So it's like very cannibalistic imagery. And then Alexander Skarsgård rowing away as a little kid and then rowing as a grown-up was a very deliberate nod to the Wheel of Pain, although the Wheel of Pain is much more successful. I think that there are things that are a part of you and a part of your childhood and a part of your memories, and they just kind of come out. I think as much as we have like a few purposeful nods to Conan, there's more Conan than there probably needs to be in the movie just by accident.